program do not reflect views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Hello, and welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm your host, Trinity Padilla, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our community, as well as around the world. Coming up on today's show, we'll bring you the latest headlines in local, national, and international news. After that, we'll celebrate the life of a Bronx cultural activist and artistic leader. And we'll take a closer look at the rich history and natural beauty in the Bronx. Plus, we'll find out about upcoming events that will help you get fit and explore our borough of parks. And finally, with fall quickly approaching, we'll hear about an activity giving our youth and the parents the opportunity to relax before school begins. So stay tuned. All this and much more is headed your way because we are now officially open. Hello everyone, I'm your host, Trinity Padilla. Today is Wednesday, August 21st, 2013. Of course you are watching Open, the only live and interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. We want to encourage you to stay connected to us. You can find us on Twitter at BronxNet TV and Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. Leading things off with national news, over 57,000 students will be cut from Head Start this fall as a result of budget cuts. Head Start saw a 5.27% reduction this March after Congress enacted the spending sequester. Administered by the Department of Health and Human Services, Head Start awards competitive grants to educational institutions and serves over 1 million children annually. On the international front, Egyptian security officials and state television have declared that the supreme leader of the Muslim Brotherhood has been detained. Mohamed Badie was captured early Tuesday in an apartment in eastern Cairo, where supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi held a 6-week sit-in protest. Badie will go on trial later this month for his alleged role in killing 8 protesters. Locally, the Bronx Opera Hotel recently opened, bringing a luxury, affordable place to stay in an up-and-coming area of the borough. Since opening, the staff says the rooms have been about 70% booked. Bronxites are optimistic that this hotel, which sits minutes from some of the city's largest attractions, will improve the local economy. We have to take a quick break, but up next, we'll honor the life of a great Bronxite. Stay tuned.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control.
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay. Wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi! God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Ready or not, here I come.
Take time to be a dad today.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes being in the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Hello and welcome back to Open. I'm your host, Trinity Padilla. In honor of the life and legacy of Bronx artist and activist Ibrahim Gonzalez, an afternoon of remembrance and celebration will be held this weekend at the Woodlawn Cemetery. Join us to share more about this tribute. We have Cristina Peña, Director of Programs for the Woodlawn Conservancy, and Alfred Gonzalez, brother of the late Ibrahim Gonzalez. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
It's wonderful to have you here. This is something that's very personal to us here at BronxNet, as Ibrahim was one of our very own. So let me start with you, Cristina Peña. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Conservancy for those viewers that are not familiar with it and what's typically held and done there?
Right. Well, the Woodlawn Conservancy is an organization whose mission is to share the history, the art and architecture, the heritage that really is at the Woodlawn Cemetery through the people who are permanent residents there. We do that through walking tours, through book talks with authors who've written about the people in our care, and often we do that also through musical performances, opera, jazz, things like that. And actually what we have coming up this Sunday on the 25th is a perfect example of how we're able to celebrate the achievements not just of an individual, Ibrahim Gonzalez, and his contributions to the borough, but also jazz legacy that is at Woodlawn Cemetery, that he is now a part of that family, and also Latin and Hispanic heritage, as it's Bronx Salsa Month right now. So it's actually, this concert's part of Bronx Salsa Month. So it's really a terrific chance for us to honor him, to celebrate him, and to celebrate all those that that appreciate jazz music and want to explore heritage.
Wonderful. So now, can anyone, for those of us that are not familiar, reside at the Woodlawn Cemetery, or is this for a specific?
No, the Woodlawn Cemetery is non-sectarian. It is open to all. And
Okay.
in terms of people visiting, we're open 7 days a week, 8:30 to 5. Anybody can come and visit the cemetery, walk the grounds, take an audio tour, and start to learn more and explore the history, again, the art and architecture, and even the natural resources, the trees and animals that make their homes there.
Great. So now we're going to turn it over to you. Why don't you tell us, for those viewers that are not familiar with his story and the abundance of contributions and accomplishments that Ibrahim has left behind with this legacy, why don't you tell us a little bit about him in general and personally?
Well, sure. I'll try to keep it short because it is a long list. Ibrahim was born in Manhattan, El Barrio, and considered himself, if anybody's ever heard him speak, that he was the son of El Barrio and a cousin of the Bronx, because the latter part of his life he resided here in the Bronx. And since his his moving to the Bronx, he's been active in every aspect of the community, helping, as most recently, some of the kids in his community, in his block area, doing rap recordings, getting them started. Jeez. And just, we can do this.
That's okay.
Just while Alfred is clearing his throat, just a reminder that the concert that we'll be having to honor his brother Ibrahim on Sunday is at 2 p.m. It'll be held in the Woolworth Chapel, which is inside the Woodlawn Cemetery, and it's free to the public. So not only is it a chance to come and hear a great concert, but everybody who's admired Ibrahim's work, who's looked up to him as an example for activism, for cultural pride in the borough, this is a great chance to come and celebrate that and to show your thanks.
Can you tell us who'll be performing?
Oh, of course. We'll have several people participating in the program in addition to his friends and family. Several individuals will be reading poems, some written specifically in tribute to Ibrahim. Bobby Gonzalez will be there, as will Sandra Maria Estevez, both reading poems. BronxNet will be there. We're really lucky to have BronxNet's participation, and they'll have a tribute video that will be played. In addition, the Center for Puerto Rican Studies will do a brief presentation about
Hunter College, right?
Yep, his work in activism. And then the whole afternoon will come to a close with a terrific concert by the Latin Jazz Ensemble Orchestra led by Arturo O'Farrell.
And there will also be a proclamation, right, by the Bronx Borough
Thank
President?
you. Yes, you're right. We are
Okay.
expecting a proclamation, and assuming that the schedule, works in our favor, we're expecting Borough President Diaz to be with us. Yes.
Wonderful. Well, this is a pretty hefty agenda you guys have. Sounds like something we don't want to miss.
Well, for someone who was such a tour de force in the borough, I mean, he really deserves no less. So it's really our pleasure.
Absolutely. Good?
We can try this again.
Let's try this again.
Ibrahim, whenever he saw a different group within the community getting started or anything of the sort, he would get involved. You just mentioned earlier about the Head Start program being cut. His being a part of BronxNet, his knowing you and the people here, he definitely would have gotten involved in that cause to help bring it back in any way, shape, or form that he could. There are a lot of groups that he got involved in with the Plena groups. There is an all-women conga group that he helped start, and there are other groups which he filmed through BronxNet and on his own. And if you look at Facebook or any of his YouTube videos, you'll see the myriad of works that he's created. And on the personal note, Ibrahim, most people I've told since the funeral and up to now that they've known him on a lot of different levels, and maybe for the past 10 or 15 years. But to grow up as the younger brother of such an amazing individual is something that it's an amazing experience. As a child, Ibrahim bought me and my twin brother red berets, and we put the Puerto Rican flag on there, which he bought for us. We bought us a flute those days. This was the 1970s. We were in Central Park with farmer pants, nothing underneath. Just very free-spirited. Those were the days when you'd walk into Central Park and the conga rhythms would be all over the place, of which he taught us to play. And he's always been an educator with everybody. Everybody that he met, he wanted to share what the knowledge that he had, especially his younger brothers. I think that is a great loss for the community to lose someone who's contributed so much on every level, involved with so many different areas. He played a lot at the Bronx Ball, the Botanical Gardens. What can I say outside of the fact that we've lost him physically, but if we want to continue his legacy, and remember this is a great way to start, on August 25th at the in the future there's another tribute coming up in September.
Wonderful.
And I can imagine that there'll be other things coming up for him. And I will be a great part of that, and I will continue to update his website. So if you want to continue to see new things, I'm digging through his computer and bringing those things out.
That's really wonderful. Make sure the legacy lives on.
Yes.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about some of his activist work? For instance, he was the co-founder of Alianza Islámica and Islamic Latino organizations. Where did that inspiration come from?
Well, Ibrahim, at the age of 17, decided, we were all raised Catholics. We lived in El Barrio. We went to Our Lady Queen of Angels Church. And somewhere along the line, he decided to become a Muslim, and that happened at the age of 17.
Wow.
His given name, which a lot of people don't know, was Freddie. So within our family, my father's name was Wilfred. Then came his first son, Wilfred Jr. Then came Freddie, my brother, and then the twins, Alfred and Frederick. And at the age of 17, I don't know what inspired him to become Muslim, but shortly after, he got involved with the Muslim community full force. And Alianza, I believe, was founded in the early 1970s. Along with a very close friend of his, Yahya, who's still involved. And that was a great way of showing the community that the Puerto Rican Muslims within the city are here to help, and they still are, and they have been for all of these years.
Wonderful. There were so many facets to him. Now, on another front, he was also a percussionist, a composer, so he had a musical side to him. So it seems like this tribute is very fitting to so many areas of his life, from the proclamation to the concerts. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Percussionist, but first he learned to play the piano. Well,
Okay.
actually, no, way before that. You're right, percussionist. Because as a child, growing up in the projects, Johnson projects, there was a gentleman across the hall who took a liking to Ibrahim, who later on became my youngest brother's father. And he showed Ibrahim to play the timbales.
Wow.
And Ibrahim was probably at the time 7, 8 years old. And that just grew into something different much later on in life. 17 must have been a real crucial year for him, because at 17, Ibrahim bought his first piano. I don't know where he got the money. It was a baby grand, and it took up half of our living room in our apartment in Johnson Projects. He taught himself how to play the piano. He had purchased it from a convent, and the nun sold it to him for a couple of $100. Taught himself to play the piano, taught us to play the piano. And then when he left, of course, we moved the piano with him, which was quite an effort, but left us another piano, made sure we had a piano at home. And that stemmed into his studying at City College later on with Charlie Palmieri. Can't remember the other people, but all of this then led to his pushing toward doing music wherever he can and however he can. And an anecdote is one of the first gigs that I can remember doing with him, I was probably about 11 years old. We went downtown to a place called El Café. They're probably closed because after the gig, we took about 10 musicians with us, and I think we made a total of $5 a piece. So that was the start.
You could do something back then with $5.
Well, not a whole lot, but that all changed. That all changed for him, and with his Latin Jazz Quintet and all the other groups that he's put together, he's gotten gigs all over the place, and it's just been a wonderful ride with him to see him grow from that first gig of that $5. And not that he was making money on the other; he did it it was a labor of love, and he just loved to play. He stayed straight from the piano and went to playing the congas within his group and other groups.
Wonderful. So before we wrap up, anything you want to finish with, anything you want to say to urge everyone to come out, celebrate, and honor this person?
If you don't know Ibrahim, there are several different ways of getting to know him. There's YouTube, of course. There's his website. But I think that this tribute on the 25th at Woodlawn Cemetery from 2 to 4, it's going to be an event that should not be missed. And if you manage not to make it to his funeral or the burial, which was phenomenal, and we all learned a lot there, there's a second chance, and you'll get to meet a lot of the people who knew him very well. You'll get to meet his 4 brothers.
Great.
And you'll get to hear a wonderful tribute to him.
So where can people get more information in case they don't jot it down?
They'll want to head to the Conservancy's website, which is woodlawnconservancy.org.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, everyone, this Sunday, August 25th, 2 to 4 p.m., make sure you honor the life and legacy of Ibrahim Gonzalez. Up next, we'll find out about an exploration of trees in the Bronx. But first, Pregones Theater recently presented From Breast Cancer to Broadway, telling the personal stories of patients from Lincoln Hospital and what they experienced after being diagnosed. BronxNet correspondent Arlene Mukoko brings us the story.
Do not want to die. If a snake appears and poisons me, so be it.
It was a packed audience at the Pregones Theater on Walton Avenue for the presentation of From Breast Cancer to Broadway, the story of cancer survivors from Lincoln Hospital and what they faced personally after being diagnosed.
The only other option is to look into alternative therapy.
Listen, I do want to help.
The 90-minute program features 8 performances written by the actual survivors, brought to life by professional actors. Quintana Diaz, who survived breast cancer, was there with her son, Luis Diaz, who wrote the letter.
Yeah, she was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2010. Reliving and watching this place here got my emotions really high.
Estoy muy contenta.
Just very happy.
Por esta experiencia tan linda que he tenido de esta obra, y le doy gracias a Dios, a Lincoln, que fue el que fui escogida para esta obra.
She says she's very happy about this experience, and she's very grateful for the opportunity to have done this.
To see a play, it touched me, and to see others people also, what they went through, I was crying the whole time.
Muy bonita, me gustó. Me sentí porque fueron recuerdos, viejos recuerdos. que al momento me sentía bien y mal, porque me estaba recordando de lo que había pasado y de mi hermano que estaba presente y todo eso. Pero me gustó mucho.
She said, well, she said she loved the play. There was moments that they were sad because she would go back and remember, you know, everything she went through, but also at the same time, happy also that, that she went through it, that she came out of everything.
Teresa Brown is also a survivor who wrote about her experience.
I just had to get my thought together, and with Bridget help, I got all this thought together, how they do it.
Playwright Bridget Wimberly worked with Lincoln Hospital to develop a program to give survivors a voice after her own sister, Bernadette Scruggs, was diagnosed.
The whole process for me is not today as much as it is the meeting the weekly with the survivors and trying to get them to put their story on paper. And then to take those stories once they're done and then get them to a theater that's going to get actors to perform them for audiences like this.
And now her sister is helping others.
This play, this information is helping me. Okay, there's somebody that got through it, and maybe, I'll do the same. So it really helped because like right now, I'm still like done. I want somebody to say, listen, girl, get the surgery, it's gonna be all right.
Girl, get the surgery, it's gonna be all right. And then we just saw stories, all of those stories about get the surgery and you'll be all right. Because they're living to tell their stories.
That's true.
Nobody was telling those stories from the grave. They're living to tell their stories. So you have a story to tell too.
What's really amazing about this is that the director, Elise Hernandez, asked me to be part of the show. And just about 6 weeks ago, I actually had a scare with breast cancer.
After being diagnosed while preparing for the play, Raquel Almazan says the experience provided her with more insight into her role. She played with Lori Parquet in a piece that illustrated a modern-day reaction to the disease alongside a woman living in a remote African village where medical treatment is not as easily accessible.
It was really amazing to see the different perspectives, and at the same time, I think that moment where the African woman and the American woman look at each other and say, I'm alive, it's that, I think the play was, the whole evening was doing that, where we're looking at the differences, but then we're looking at what brings us together.
Elise Hernandez, director of the play, praised the work of all the actors and survivors from Lincoln Hospital and brought out the director of breast cancer at Lincoln Hospital, Sydney McCullough, to answer questions and answers.
This, for me, the first time seeing patients really playing out their own stories on stage. It's a life-changing experience because it's giving me an opportunity to see how the patients see us as physicians.
Some of the important aspects of these stories were that these people from different cultures, and so the idea was to transpire the journey, or transpire with the writers the journeys of their cultural beliefs versus medical treatment.
Breast Cancer to Broadway. It's this community's message that a breast cancer diagnosis does not have to mean the end, but instead can be a new beginning. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
Hello viewers, I'm your host, Trinity Padilla. Bronx River Sankofa is back in partnership with the Bronx Parkies Community Association to hold a new Tree Appreciation Walk on August 29th. Our next guest joins us to share more about this walk and how the trees we walk by every day are so important in our American history. Let's welcome landscape designer and tour guide Morgan Powell.
It's an honor to be with you, Trinity.
It's an honor to have you. Thank you, thank you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the new Tree Appreciation Walk?
Wow. Well, thanks so much. The first thing I want to do is I want to thank the Bronx River Alliance, because I wouldn't be doing these walks had Damian Griffin, who's the education coordinator there, not recommended I do walks 2.5 years ago. So thank you, Bronx River Alliance. I'm so happy to do this. This is actually the 10th theme in the Bronx River Sankofa series that we started in March 2011. And we've done architecture, public art, women's history, African American history, oral history, civil engineering, and now we're looking at the trees we walk by every day that are really important in American history.
That's really wonderful. That's not something that you expect to see in any of the metropolitan boroughs overall, so that's really exciting. So what kind of turnout do you expect for this walk?
Wow. Well, I try to be really organic with these experiences, so I don't have a number expectation. We have about 29 people who have RSVP'd through the Facebook page, Bronx River Sankofa, but you never know who's going to come, and lots of people are coming because the Bronx Park East Community Association is putting out flyers, so it could be somewhere between 30 and 45 people.
And how long is the walk?
Sure, this is going to be our shortest walking tour ever. The tour starts between 7:15 and 7:30. Formally 7:30, but we are going to have a little gathering before. And we're coming toward the end of summer, so there's not a whole lot of sunlight. So we only have an hour and a half of sunlight, so the tour can't go past an hour and a half.
Very nice, very nice. And this is on Thursday, August 29th, right?
Yes.
Okay. And where can people obtain more information? On your Facebook page?
I'm so glad you asked. So it's on the Bronx River Alliance's website, on their calendar, and it's also on Facebook at Bronx River Sankofa.
Very nice. So if you were taking us for a tree walk tour now, what would we expect to see?
Wow. Well, I try to give people things that they completely don't expect. So maybe one of the fun ways of thinking about what you're going to see or hear when you come on the tour is to kind of look back in Bronx history and like local history. So I have a few things here. This is actually a photograph of a plaque that's in the New York Botanical Garden, and it shows you that in 1883, the New York State Legislature passed a law that said that large swaths of land in what was then Lower Westchester, or part of the city that was just being acquired, would become major parks for the city. So Van Cortlandt Park, Pelham Bay Park, Bronx Park, Crotona, Claremont, etc. These parks were all created in 1883. That means this is the 130th anniversary of all these major parks. So we're going to explore things like that. I'm also really interested in showing people that I'm not a genius. I only know these things because I read. This stuff is all in books, and some of these books are in libraries, so you don't have to pay money. This is a really great book that costs less than $20 that you can buy at the gift shop at the New York Botanical Garden. It's called New York City Trees, and it's an incredible field guide to trees in all the major parks and on city streets. So those are some of the things that people are going to see on the 29th.
Wonderful. So you have all of this information with you, and you're doing something really wonderful for the community, something totally unexpected. What inspired the knowledge you chose to gain on landscaping and your love of trees and wanting to share that with people? What was your inspiration?
Sure. Well, there are many inspirations. Like I said, Damien Griffin of the Bronx River Alliance kind of just put it out there. Morgan, do you want to do a tour for us? So that is what started it out, because I was really doing research for the Bronx African American History Project out of Fordham University's Department of African and African American Studies, which for the last 10 years has been documenting African American experience in the Bronx. And so I was beginning to know a little bit about local African American history, but I was thinking that I was going to write all this down. I never ever thought I was going to do walking tours on that particular subject, or do the PowerPoint talks that have now attracted over 1,200 people, most of them Bronxites. If you're watching this in the Bronx, I'm doing this for you. Come to the walk.
Absolutely, absolutely. With all of the emphasis today on getting fit and environmentalism, this is really important. You know, it's basically it's two benefits: a little bit of exercise and a little bit of knowledge on our environment. So, do you find that the community has been more involved over the years since your inception to today?
Wow. It's hard for me to know what my impact on the community has been, but I can say that I'm inspired by all the other people in the community doing great work. People like Tanya Fields in the Longwood community. She runs a program called The Black Project, and it's not just for African Americans. It's really just talking about how to increase access to freshly grown food and the wonderful impact that has on your body, drinking water, exercising, doing yoga, spirituality. So Tanya Fields, who's an incredible and powerful speaker, if you're wondering like who are the powerful emerging young Bronxites, you need to go on YouTube and watch some Tanya Fields videos, because she's a powerhouse. So people like that inspire me. But I really also need to acknowledge that this is the 40th anniversary of two really important things.
Okay.
So a woman who's not African American, Ruth Anderberg, who is a retired Catholic missionary from Massachusetts, she lives in the Fordham community, and she actually started working on what later became the first nonprofit ever to year be involved in cleaning up the Bronx River. So This is the 40th anniversary of what became the Bronx River Restoration Project, and that's hugely important. And then at a really, really, really local level, I'm an alumnus of Christopher Columbus High School. And 40 years ago, the New York Botanical Garden pooled students from my alma mater with students from Theodore Roosevelt and DeWitt Clinton and Bronx High School of Science. And they got all of those young people to photograph the Bronx River, to document what plants and animals were living in the Bronx River. And that was just a really great, wonderful community effort. So there are a lot of anniversaries that we're celebrating.
Okay, and is that what inspired the tree walk?
In part, yeah.
Okay.
Because the more that I read about these things and learn about it, I'm thinking, wow, there's this incredible heritage, but I can't sit at home with my books alone and think, ooh, I've got the goods. I want to share it with everybody, and that's why I do these walks.
Now, before the show started, we had a little side conversation, and you mentioned an interesting tidbit. We talked about the tree walk that's coming up, and how some of us may assume that there are parts of the Bronx that don't have many trees, and you said something very interesting. Why don't you share that with us?
Wow, yeah. There's so many things about the Bronx that are really counterintuitive. People think things are one thing and they're totally different. So a lot of people, I mean, at the top of the hour, you gave like national, international news and recent cutbacks in educational programming for children to increase literacy, Head Start specifically. And I don't know when Head Start was started, but it's about 50 years old. It's somewhere in that range. We're living in a really, really, really pivotal moment in American history where so many gains that people just assumed that once gained they'd be there forever are now being yanked back. So the Supreme Court basically almost nullified the Voting Rights Act earlier this year. There's more restrictions on women's right to choose in terms of abortion or not. So it's just a really kind of strange moment to live in American history. But specifically on the question of trees, believe it or not, even though the average income of Bronxites was much higher 50 years ago, and a lot of people lament, like, I miss the old Bronx and all that. The truth is, the Bronx has vastly more trees in terms of street trees today than it did 50 years ago. In the process of doing this research, I go and I interview architects and other people who lived in the Bronx in the 50s and 60s, and they all tell me they lived on streets with not a single tree. They had to go to the parks for that.
That's incredible. So that's even more of a reason to look forward to this tree walk. So we want to remind everyone it's Thursday, August 29th at 7:15, not 7:30, right?
Yes.
And make sure you come and join us and learn about the trees in the Bronx. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Likewise, thank you. We have to take a quick break, but up next we'll find out about a series of events to keep you fit. Stay tuned.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything...
It is I, Cruz Zinkerbell. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS. And when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee and Cool Clyde. It's open on BronxNet. I never miss it.
So, I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
This was me. And Mom and Dad. And my big brother Alex. And Jack, this was the day that I learned that sandals get their name from sand, and that the ocean is bigger than all of us. This was the day we all got to forget that I was sick. This was my wish.
This fall, 3 community races will be held with a goal to raise funds and celebrate the anniversary of the world-famous cross-country trail. Joining us to share more about how you can stay fit while exploring the beautiful Bronx are Christina Taylor, Executive Director of Friends of Van Cortlandt Park, and Glenn Shane, longtime member, coach, and runner. Welcome. So glad to have you here with us.
Thank you.
So this is all about getting fit. So we are promoting 3 races, right? A series of 3 races, and you're specifically here to tell us about the first race, correct?
Yes.
And this is called Bramble and the Run the Trail.
Run for the Trail series.
Okay,
Bramble.
I'm going to start with, what does Bramble mean?
Well, Bramble means that you have to, it's a very tough course. You have to go through, you have to jump over streams and rocks and bushes and this and that. So it's through a bramble, you know. It's a really treacherous course, but it's a wonderful course.
Treacherous.
So, yeah, treacherous, yeah. That's what it is. Bramble.
Okay, and is this something you've done previously in the past, or is this a brand new event?
The Van Cortlandt Track Club has done brambles in the past and a lot of races in Van Cortlandt Park and other places, but this is the first time that we've done a Run for the Trail series.
Okay.
So the idea was to help celebrate the 100th anniversary of the cross country trail in Van Cortlandt Park and to help raise money to maintain the trail. So we partnered with, it's the Friends of Van Cortlandt Park, the Van Cortlandt Track Club, the Van Cortlandt Park Conservancy, and BronxNet, who are all working together to bring this whole series of 3 races to help promote the trail and raise funding. And then the first race, the Bramble, is a partnership with the Friends and the Van Cortlandt Track Club. And all the funding that is raised will go towards our summer teen trail crew, and they'll work next summer to help maintain the trail.
That's really amazing. That's pretty important. I think that's a good reason for people to come out and support.
Yes.
So is there anything you want to tell us about how you've been gaining membership or participants for this specific race, or anything you need to do?
Well, we've had a series of races up there during the summer. It's called the Bronx Series Races. It's a 5K series. And we have about between 100 people, runners, 100, 200 runners, and they run the course. And it's a really wonderful course because the park has been there for such a long time, and some people don't even know about the park. They don't know it exists, the trails and so forth and so on. So we want to make people aware of what's going on there, and the fact is that now they can come out and enjoy this, and also at the same time raise funds for the restoration of parts of the park that we use. So it's very important to have that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now the next series of races go into the fall, correct?
Right.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the next 2? Is it when you sign up and register, can you sign up for one, or do you have to sign up for the series? How does this work?
Well, you can sign up for the series, or you could run an individual race. It doesn't matter. We have a race coming up in October and then again in November. And they can go to our website. It's vctc.org.
vctc.org?
VanCortlandTrackClub.org to get all the information on our website, and I'll tell you about all the races. And you can run one, or you can sign up for the 3 races. And like I said, all of the funds go to the restoration of the park. So it's a great event to have.
Fantastic.
Yes.
What's the registration fee?
$25 before the race day, and $30 on race day. But you're going to get a T-shirt, and we have all kinds of prizes. We're giving away gift cards and all like that. So it's
How are you doing that? It should be more money.
Well,
That's $30 for all 3?
No.
Per race.
Per
Okay.
race, right, exactly.
I didn't figure out how you were breaking even there with the T-shirts.
Well, like the money's going for a good cause.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's such a beautiful park, and they've had concerts up there this summer, and you know they're doing a lot of restoration there. So we want to be a part of that also.
Absolutely. And now, question: can people just donate to help
Yes.
the cause, or
Right.
okay?
Yes.
And they can
go to
find
our
that information
website.
on your
Yes,
website
on our
as
website,
well?
They can just, if they don't want to run, they can donate money to to the team, and we'll send it directly to the Friends of Van Cortlandt, and they'll go from there.
So now you mentioned prizes. Can you entice us with some of these
Yeah,
prizes,
well, what
or
we're
it's a
going to
secret?
do, we have some gift cards
Okay.
from the Westchester Roadrunners Club. They were going to give away $25 gift cards. Also, there might be a couple of other gift cards from Whole Foods. And there might be also some gift cards from, I think we have Fandango, movie tickets and so forth and so on. So it's going to be nice. We bring out a lot of people. And the biggest prize of all is Lloyd's carrot cake.
Oh, carrot
They
cake.
give carrot cake away, so everybody loves that.
Oh, and that's for everyone, not the
that's
winner.
for everyone.
Okay. What does the winner get?
The winner gets probably a gift card,
Okay.
and probably we're going to give medals away and so forth. So it's going to be a really nice affair.
That
We
sounds
try
fun.
to make everybody feel a part of this, and so by giving away prizes and so forth and so on, we want this to grow over the years. So like I said, this year is the 3 series, so we're going to go next year also.
Okay, I think I might join you.
Oh, nice. You look like a runner.
Oh, I'm so not. I think I'll need some training for the bush jumping.
Well, guess what? We're going to have people walking also.
Walking, that sounds better.
Yeah, they're going to have people walking, you can't get lost because we're going to have marshals on the course.
Very
Everything.
nice.
So we should be fine.
Very nice. Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Well, the only thing is that we want to make sure that people are aware that the race starts September the 1st at 10 a.m., okay? We have a series of 2 races. We have a 10K race and a 5K race, and they should be there at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
That's when the race starts.
And now, what is BronxNet's involvement in this?
BronxNet is helping to promote it, first of all, which is we greatly appreciate. And also, they are partnering with the Conservancy for the October race.
Okay.
So to help split up the responsibilities and make it a little bit easier for everyone, we divided up the races that way. So BronxNet is definitely involved in those ones.
Also, a lot of people don't know that the park is celebrating its 100th
100th
anniversary.
anniversary.
That's unbelievable that the park has been there that long. It's a very historical park. All kinds of sites there. They have tours there and everything, and they have nature trails in the back. So it's really a wonderful park.
And how long
especially
have
in
you
the
been a
Bronx.
part of?
35 years.
35 years. So this is near and dear to you.
Exactly.
And yourself?
I've been with the Friends of Van Cortlandt Park for 13 years now.
Wow. Really great.
Very dedicated.
Well, you guys
to
are doing
Van
a great
Cortlandt
job.
Park.
This sounds
Thank you
really
so much.
exciting.
Thank you.
So we want to urge everyone to come out and join the centennial anniversary of Van Cortlandt Park. This sounds like a very exciting event. Get fit and make sure you do your part to keep the beauty of the Bronx going. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Well, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll find out about a summer event that you won't want to miss.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all working with United Way for a million little reasons. The kids of our communities, to ensure their academic success all the way to graduation day. You see, it takes about 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a kid becoming one or the other could be a professional athlete, or it could be you. Studies showed the earlier we get to kids, the better their chances. So become a United Way volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, and make a difference in the life of a child, for the life of that child. Give. Advocate. Volunteer. Live United. Join your favorite NFL players. Take the pledge. Go to unitedway.org.
Long before I was in Hollywood, I had a grandmother by the name of Estelle Marie Taylor, positive role models to make sure that I was on the straight path. Big Brothers Big Sisters carefully screens volunteers and places them in long-term mentoring matches with kids who face adversity. With more volunteers, especially men, and more donations, every little who needs a big can have it. Start something. If it's been a while since you've been involved, start something again. Learn more at bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything,
It is I, Grooves, Zinkelpel. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back to Open. I'm your host, Trinity Padilla. As summer comes to a close, the Bronx Terminal Market and the Bronx Zoo have come together to host an event covering all of your back-to-school needs. Joining us to share more is James Harrigan. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So tell us about this back-to-school event. Sounds like there's so many activities and fun and prizes and things to be gained to make things easier for parents and children as they get ready for the new season. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, we're getting very, very excited. Even though summer's coming down to a close, everybody's getting back into the fall and to the back-to-school, into the school gear. So Bronx Terminal Market is we're having our annual back-to-school event on Thursday, August 29th. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on our 6th floor garage roof deck. And there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on. We have a lot of tenant participation. Kids will be able to do a lot of different activities with Toys R Us, Skechers, Raymore and Flanagan, Subway, Sprint, and the ever so popular Spin the Wheel of Prizes with Applebee's.
Very nice.
Which we've had in the past. Like we did last year, kids will be able to get their face painted and maybe get a free haircut if they want, so you're looking real sharp for your first day back to school.
And is this the haircuts? Who's doing the haircuts?
Local people that do hair. So
in the area?
Yeah, in the area.
Very nice.
Yep. So we're really excited about that. It's just it's an opportunity for kids and parents to come back to get ready for school. They're going to get a very important checklist of all the important back to school needs, where to find them at Bronx Terminal Market, and different promotions that are going on throughout various stores.
And now you've partnered up with the Bronx Zoo, so it sounds like they've got something really fun and interesting going on. Why don't you tell us about that, a scavenger hunt?
Yes, we're super excited about that. So kids will get the opportunity to go on a scavenger hunt throughout different stores at Bronx Terminal Market, and they're going to be looking for these certain kinds of eggs. So
dinosaur eggs.
Dinosaur
right?
eggs.
Okay.
It's not like Easter.
So don't want to mix that up.
Every egg that they find is basically a free admission ticket to the Bronx Zoo exhibit.
Really?
Which is a very cool exhibit, which is interactive. It'll get everybody kind of back into the science mode for school, and they'll be able to learn about fossils and reptiles and different kinds of dinosaurs. So I think it's a really cool activity to do, and give people the opportunity to visit the Bronx Zoo.
Sounds it. And
Yes.
now this is an annual event. So how long has this been taking place?
It is our second annual event.
Second
it was very
annual event.
successful last year, so we decided to do it again.
Very.
And we're also really excited for having the Bronx Museum there. they're going to have a special arts and crafts table, and they're going to be bringing various types of masks that kids can paint and do crafts with. So it's going to be a lot of activity, and get everybody, enjoying the last few days of summer before school starts.
And now this is a rooftop activity, so is this rain or shine?
This is rain or shine, yes. And we will always update if something happens. You can visit our website, BronxTerminalMarket.com, for any updates. We're on Facebook. You can like us and follow us on Twitter at ShopBTM.
Okay.
And we're brand new to Instagram as well.
So for those of us or viewers that are not familiar with the name Bronx Terminal Market but may recognize the location, why don't you tell us about the stores that are located within the Bronx Terminal Market Mall?
Yeah, sure. We're a large 18-acre property that is basically what they call a power center with big box tenants and some small tenants alike in restaurants. So, it's a one-stop shop. You can go there to Target. You can go there to Home Depot. We have a Burlington Coat Factory, a BJ's Wholesale Club, Toys R Us and Babies R Us, like I mentioned before, Superstore. We have a Best Buy, a Bed Bath & Beyond. We have restaurants like Morisco Subway and Applebee's, and there's a lot more. So there's a large, vast amount of area to cover and explore while you're there.
So what was your turnout like last year?
We had a great turnout. That's why we were so excited to do it again. We are altering it a little bit this year. We're doing a little add-on. This year we had a summer film series on the roof deck, and it was really, really, really popular. And unfortunately, we had a weather call for the one film for Disney, Wreck-It Ralph, so we had to cancel it before we did the setup. But we are bringing it back for after the event winds down, the back-to-school event at 7. We're going to be showing the Disney film Wreck-It Ralph, which is very popular. I haven't seen it myself, but everybody loves it.
It's a new release, right?
Yes.
That's really great, really great. And now, is this for children of, like older toddlers to older children? Is there a specific age range? Because you might have preschoolers, you might have high schoolers. So what's your target market for this back-to-school event?
It's children of all ages. You can be teenagers and everything. Wreck-It Ralph is also very popular with adults, so that's a good add-on. We just want everybody to come by and have a good time and just kind of unwind.
Okay. This is really an impressive event and gesture on behalf of your organization. Can you tell us what the importance is of having events like this before school starts?
Yeah, we really like to bring the community together and just everybody to have a good time and have fun and just relax. We're working on our 2014 series of events as well, and the upcoming holidays. Even though it's a little early, we're still working out the details, but it's more of a community base and kind of a thank you, for coming to our center.
And a give back to get parents and children prepared for the school year, and even an opportunity to maybe do more than they can on their own?
Yes, absolutely. It's really a great opportunity.
Really great. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Just follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at ShopBTM. We're new on Instagram, like I said, and you can always visit our website, BronxTerminalMarket.com, for any updates.
Okay. Can you tell us about some of the supporters of the event besides the ones you mentioned, like the Bronx Museum and the Bronx Zoo? Are there any community, local officials involved?
We're just working primarily with the Bronx Zoo and the Bronx Museum for this event, and our base tenants. Okay. So we have a lot of participation that way, and it'll just make it a lot of fun.
It's a private community event.
Absolutely,
that's really great. Really great. Is there anything else you want to share, urge people to do in preparation for the event?
Well, come on down, have some fun, bring a lawn chair, bring a blanket for the movie, and just play some games.
Bring a lawn chair. That's important
information.
Very important, actually, I would assume that there were chairs, so that's extremely important.
Bring some chairs, yes.
Okay.
And 92.3 now will be there with music, and they'll be doing giveaways as well, so it'll get everybody in a fun mode.
So what's your hope for the future of the event? Is this something that you want to keep doing annually?
I would love to do this annually. We seem to have really good feedback based on last year's, and we want to continue to do so and get everyone involved.
Do you have any personal stories? Sometimes these things, there may have been one specific family or person that you can recall maybe from last year that it really impacted their personal lives. I don't know what the prizes are like or, what the range is in terms of what your giveaways are, but I would imagine that some families that really could use the help, this is something that is a great incentive for them.
Yes, it gives everyone just an opportunity. I mean, the giveaways that we have are, this year especially, like with the Bronx Zoo exhibit, it's, a free admission ticket that you can go and, kind of dive back into science. And there's different promotions throughout the stores for getting those back to school essentials that you get in the mail from teachers. So it just is bringing everyone together. Last year we did a fashion show with Burlington Coat Factory. I'm still working on them for this event. It may be there, but the kids had a really good time, and some of them actually just kind of jumped in on the runway, and it's a good-hearted event that everybody can enjoy together as a family.
Great. Do you have any other upcoming events?
We're working on our holiday series right now, and we've been working with the Bronx Council of Arts to do some local artist displays on our new pedestrian bridge that we have off of River Avenue. That will be revealed in the future.
Very nice. It was such a pleasure to have you. This
Thanks
is
for
a
having
really
me.
great event.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, it's been a pleasure coming into your home. I'd like to thank our guests for joining us and you, the viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the Recable cast at 10 p.m. on Cablevision Channel 67, FiOS 33, or watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. Have a wonderful day, and remember to stay open to the realm of possibilities within our great community.
I don't know what's happening. Start a new chat. What did I do? Okay. Wow. That is so weird.
Hey! Hi!
Oh my gosh. Hi! God, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so nervous. Gia, you're so big. Come closer to the camera. Wait, now you're in my face. That was so good.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the first element. Helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.